Bending mouse ear loops in residential panels involve several considerations. There are reasons for performing this task, code implications, and electromagnetic field concerns. Let's consider reasons for bending mouse ear loops. Firstly, aesthetics play a role. Bending mouse ear loops can enhance the appearance of a panel by creating a cleaner and more finished aesthetic. Secondly, bending the loops can contribute to increased panel strength. This process can stiffen the panel, reducing the likelihood of warping or bending under load. Thirdly, easier wire management is another benefit. Bent loops facilitate easier wire feeding through the panel by providing a larger opening for wires to pass through. Fourthly, protection from corrosion is achieved. Bending the loops can create a barrier over the cut edges, preventing corrosion and extending the lifespan of the panel. When considering code considerations, reference NFPA 70, the National Electrical Code. The NEC does not specifically address the bending of mouse ear loops. However, it mandates that electrical panels be installed according to the manufacturer's instructions. Provided the bending process is executed carefully without compromising the panel's integrity, it should not violate any code requirements. It is important to note that local building codes may have specific regulations concerning the bending of mouse ear loops. Consultation with the local building inspector is advisable before bending any loops. In terms of electromagnetic field considerations, bending mouse ear loops is unlikely to significantly affect EMF levels in the home. However, electrical panels can generate EMF, thus maintaining a distance from living areas is generally recommended. Here are some tips for safely bending mouse ear loops. 1. Use a sharp, clean pair of pliers to avoid damaging the panel. 2. Bend the loops at a 90-degree angle. 3. Avoid bending the loops too tightly, as it can weaken the panel. 4. Smooth out any sharp edges after bending. In conclusion, bending mouse ear loops in residential panels offers benefits, including improved aesthetics, increased panel strength, easier wire management, and protection from corrosion. It is considered a safe and acceptable practice when performed carefully and in compliance with applicable code requirements. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, is a comprehensive set of standards and guidelines for safe electrical installations. It's important to understand how the NEC applies to modifications made within electrical panels, such as bending mouse ear loops. While the NEC doesn't explicitly forbid bending these loops, it emphasizes adherence to manufacturer's instructions. These instructions are critical because they dictate the panel's design limitations and safety features. Any alteration, including bending loops, should not compromise the panel's original integrity or its ability to function safely. When considering local building codes, it's essential to recognize that these codes often supplement the NEC with more specific regulations tailored to the local environment and construction practices. These local codes may address the bending of mouse ear loops if it's seen as a potential safety concern or if it conflicts with accepted wiring methods in the region. Always check with the local building inspector to ensure compliance with all applicable regulations. The potential impact of bending mouse ear loops on electromagnetic fields, or EMFs, is a common concern. EMF are invisible lines of force that surround any electrical device. Electrical panels, by their nature, generate EMF due to the flow of electricity. Bending mouse ear loops is unlikely to have a measurable effect on the overall EMF levels in a home. However, it's always prudent to maintain a reasonable distance from electrical panels, especially in living areas, to minimize exposure. Wire management within an electrical panel is crucial for safety and efficiency. Bending mouse ear loops can, in some cases, improve wire management by creating a more organized and accessible layout. However, it's important to ensure that bending the loops doesn't create any sharp edges or obstructions that could damage wire insulation or make it difficult to trace circuits. Always prioritize clear labeling and neat arrangement of wires. Corrosion prevention is another factor to consider when modifying electrical panels. Bending mouse ear loops can create a protective barrier over the cut edges of the panel, which can help prevent corrosion. Corrosion can degrade the metal components of the panel, leading to electrical faults and safety hazards. Ensure that any exposed metal surfaces are properly treated to prevent corrosion. The structural integrity of the electrical panel is paramount. The panel is designed to withstand certain loads and stresses, and any modification should not compromise its structural integrity. Bending mouse ear loops excessively or improperly could weaken the panel, making it more susceptible to damage from physical impacts or environmental factors. Always exercise caution and avoid overbending the loops. Proper grounding is essential for electrical safety. The grounding system provides a path for fault currents to flow back to the source, tripping a circuit breaker or fuse and preventing electrical shock. When bending mouse ear loops, ensure that the grounding connections remain intact and are not compromised in any way. Verify that all grounding conductors are properly sized and connected according to the NEC. Overcrowding in electrical panels can lead to overheating and potential fire hazards. Bending mouse ear loops can sometimes exacerbate overcrowding by reducing the available space for wires and components. Ensure that the panel is not overloaded and that there is adequate space for proper ventilation. Consider using larger panels or sub-panels if necessary. Electrical safety is a shared responsibility. When working on electrical panels, it's important to follow all safety precautions and guidelines. Always de-energize the circuit before working on any electrical components. Use appropriate personal protective equipment, such as insulated gloves and safety glasses. If you are not comfortable working on electrical panels, consult a qualified electrician. The long-term reliability of electrical panels is crucial for the safety and functionality of electrical systems. Bending mouse ear loop should not compromise the long-term reliability of the panel. Ensure that all modifications are made with high-quality materials and workmanship. Regularly inspect the panel for any signs of wear, corrosion, or damage. Training and education are essential for anyone working on electrical systems. Proper training can provide the knowledge and skills necessary to perform electrical work safely and effectively. Consider taking courses or workshops on electrical safety and wiring methods. Stay up to date on the latest codes and regulations. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous, and it's always better to err on the side of caution. If you have any doubts about your ability to perform a task safely, consult a qualified electrician. Bending mouse ear loops can be a useful technique for improving the appearance and functionality of electrical panels. However, it's important to understand the potential risks and benefits before making any modifications. By following the guidelines and recommendations outlined above, you can ensure that the bending process is performed safely and effectively. Regular maintenance and inspection of electrical panels are crucial for preventing electrical hazard. Check for loose connections, damaged wires, and signs of overheating. Clean the panel regularly to remove dust and debris. Schedule a professional inspection at least once a year. When replacing electrical panels, choose a panel that is appropriately sized for the load and that meets all applicable safety standards. Consider using a panel with surge protection to protect against power surges. Label all circuits clearly and accurately. Proper labeling can help prevent confusion and make it easier to troubleshoot problems. Use a permanent marker or label maker to create clear and legible labels. Document all modifications made to the electrical panel. Keep a record of any changes to the wiring, circuit breakers, or other components. This documentation can be helpful for future maintenance and troubleshooting. Consider using a surge protector to protect your electronic devices from power surges. Surge protectors can help prevent damage to sensitive equipment caused by lightning strikes, power outages, and other electrical disturbances. Educate yourself and others about electrical safety. Share your knowledge with family, friends, and neighbors. Encourage them to take precautions to prevent electrical accidents. By working together, we can create a safer environment for everyone. When working on electrical projects, always follow the principles of energy conservation. Use energy-efficient lighting and appliances. Turn off lights and appliances when they are not in use. Reduce your energy consumption and save money on your electricity bill. Stay informed about new technologies and advancements in electrical safety. Attend industry conferences, read trade publications, and participate in online forums. Continuous learning is essential for staying ahead of the curve and ensuring that you are providing the best possible service. Remember that electrical safety is an ongoing process. It requires constant vigilance, attention to detail, and a commitment to following best practices. By prioritizing safety, we can prevent electrical accidents and create a safer world for ourselves and future generations.